Welcome to Business English for Vocabulary Builders. Let's get started. Alright, again, I'm going to try to put everything, every word, every idiom here within 30 seconds. Speed run. Let's start off with blue sky singing. Blue sky singing just basically means you're going ahead and you're idea generating. It's brainstorming, but it's limited. It can be as unrealistic as you want. You can go ahead and say, we can go to Harry Potter if you want in blue sky singing. Although I don't think anyone will actually do that. Now, because we have booming. Booming is an easy one. This just basically means successful. When a business is booming, that just basically means that business is going ahead and it's booming up and up and up and up. Alright, then we have bottleneck. Now, bottleneck here just basically means it's like a process that is going ahead and it's slowing something down. Say the process is taking like pouring water out of a bottle, but because of the bottleneck, it's keeping the water out. I mean, still in, but it's keeping it out. Alright, then next up we have bounce back. Bounce back just basically means that's literally it. You just went ahead and you recover quickly. Say you just lost some stock prices. Now the prices are rising again. They bounce back. Next up we have breadwinner. Breadwinner is a traditional word that is basically traditional word that just basically means it's the person who earns the most income. Like the person who owns the most income and is supporting the house. He's bringing home the bread because back then the bread was the most important food of the time. Right, then we have bring home the bacon. Now, when you're bringing home the bacon, that just basically means you're going ahead and bringing home the things, the materials to survive. Usually it's an income that just can support your family's life by like a tolerable amount. Alright, next up we have bring to the table. Now, when you're bringing something to the table, that just basically means you're going ahead and you're contributing an idea towards a conversation as well too. And then we have bummed out. Okay, bummed out just basically means you're upset or you're disappointed, huh? Alright, back to bummed out. Bummed out here just basically means you're going ahead, you're upset, and you're very disappointed. And when you're bummed out and you're disappointed, that just basically means you're just too upset to actually care about things that are happening right now. Like, you're just too sad. Next up, we have burning the midnight oil. Now, burning the midnight oil just basically means you're going ahead and you're continuing to work late into the night. We're continuing to work late into the night because of whether it's reading or doing work, whatever, you're just continuing late into the night. And eventually, if you do that, you get a burnout. Burnout just basically means someone spends too much energy or time on something and eventually harms them, makes them suffer, but whether physically or mentally, it depends on the situation. Alright, next up we have by the book. By the book just basically means you're doing something based on a set of rules and you're never deviating from those set of rules. Alright, and then we have call it a day. Now, when you're calling something a day, that just basically means you're finished with a current task. You're finished with a current task, and so you can go ahead and do any of all that too. Next up, we'll have call the shots, which just basically means if you're the one person calling the shots, that basically means you're the person who's going ahead and you're in control of a situation or an operation. And then we have can't quite put my finger on it. That just basically means when you can't quite put my finger on it, that basically means you can go out, you just can't really describe what that person is either feeling or trying to say. And then we have cash cow. Cash cow is basically an item, a product, or an investment that goes ahead and brings a very profitable, a very good, but also steady and healthy income or profit. And then we have cash in your chips. Now, when you're cashing in your chips, that basically means you're going ahead and you're selling something for what you can get for that thing as well too. Alright, next up, because you expect, well, that the income is the price of that thing is going to lower down. Next up, we'll catch someone off guard. When you're catching someone off guard, that just basically means you're going ahead and you're surprising someone. Now, when you're surprising someone, like you surprise someone, you catch someone off guard, that person jolts because he's off his guard. Next up, we have caught red-handed. Now, when you catch someone red-handed, that just basically means you went ahead and caught them in the act of doing something bad, say murder, or doing a business transaction deal that would ruin the company. Next up, we have cave in. Cave in just basically means you went ahead and you finally submitted under the pressure, where someone's like, "Have you had enough yet?" and keeps bonking you on the head with a hammer, and you're like, "Fine, I'll do it." He finally caved into the pressure. And then our next idiom is change the pace. Change the pace just basically means you're going ahead and you basically went ahead and changed the speed and the intensity of the project that's working right now. Say you were working on like this project of creating this software which could go ahead and analyze your data expressions several times in a few seconds. Well, you're forced to speed that up because now the release date has been released, and it is way sooner than the original release date. It is in 7 months' time, and you needed 12 months' time. Yay. Alright, next up we have clamp down on. When you clamp down on something, that is basically you attempt to reduce or stop something as well too. You go ahead, you attempt to reduce something, and you're attempting to also stop that thing as well too. And next up, we have close of play. This actually literally comes from sports, and this just basically means in the business world, it's the end of the working day. Now, yes, let's just assume that this is the working day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then here's your schedule, check, and now you're at the end of the working day. Time to relax. Yippee-ki-yay! Alright. Next up, we have close to hand. Close to hand basically means that something is easily accessible. Something is actually really easy to go ahead and it's accessible too. Like, it's not hard to get. Not hard to get, like a pair of scissors. That basically means that it's close to hand. Next up, that means come to think of it. That just basically means you have a little reflection of something as well too. You have a reflection on something. Then we have come up with. When you're coming up with something, that just basically means you're going ahead and you're producing that thing as well too. To produce that thing. Then we have come up short. When you're coming up short of something, that just basically means you fail to reach or achieve a standard or a goal, and that's great for the person who's trying to bully you. Next up, we have compare apples to apples. When you're comparing apples to apples, that basically means you go ahead and compare two things that are very similar. So there are things to actually compare it to. Alright, next up we have compare apples to oranges. Now this is a variation of comparing apples to apples, but instead of comparing two similar things, you're comparing two things that are completely different, or at least different enough to actually make it hard to find similarities. Next up we have corner the market. Now, when you're cornering the market, that just basically means you have a hold on a certain commodity. So big of a hold that even you can control the price of that commodity as well too. And then we have corporate ladder. Now, the corporate ladder just basically means you have a series of jobs that are actually going ahead and you're increasing in importance. And with that increasing importance, that basically means you went ahead and did things pretty importantly, like a series of jobs increasing importance. Climbing up the corporate ladder basically means you are like promoted to a different status in your corporate ladder. And finally, we have corporate raider. Corporate raider just basically means it's an individual company that goes ahead and buys a lot of shares of one certain item, so much of one company, so that they like own half of that company or something like that. And of course, that is it. That is day 2 of Business English Vocabulary Builder. Hope to see you guys soon. Until next time, channel, peace. Bye bye. Blue sky sinking. Booming. Bottleneck. Bounce back. Breadwinner. Bring home the bacon. Bring to the table. Bummed out. Burning the midnight oil. Burn out. By the book. Call it a day. Call the shots. Can't quite put my finger on it. Cash cow. Cash in the chips. Catch someone off guard. Caught red-handed. Cave in. Tend of pace. Clamp down on. Close of play. Close to hand. Come to think of it. Come up with. Come up short. Compare apples to apples. Compare apples to oranges. Corner the market. Corporate ladder. Corporate radar.